Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a new take on twice-baked potatoes. Here to share a recipe from the September-October edition of Christopher Kimball's Milk Street magazine, we welcome back their Director of Education, Rosie Gill. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Helen. How are you doing?
Good. Let's talk about this new take on twice-baked potatoes.
Helen, I chose these just because they're ridiculously delicious. They're somewhere between like trashy mashed potato and a really elegant, baked potato bar. And they're just so fun for fall, and you can customize them. And I just think they're the perfect way to embrace the fact that we all like cheese, potatoes, and something charred and crispy.
Yeah, okay. Show me how we do this and what we're using, because I see Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, you see. Let's start with the potato. So
Okay.
the one important thing, and really this is the only important thing, is that you choose a baking style potato or a floury potato.
Okay.
You don't want to choose the wax type potatoes like these, like Yukon Golds, because they won't, it's hard to scrape them, and that you won't get this nice texture that we're looking for. So the type of potato matters.
Okay, gotcha.
After that, Helen, the world is your oyster. Do whatever you want. So while I scrape out, so what I did in advance was bake some potatoes for about an hour at 400 degrees. Halfway through, you add a filling. We chose Brussels sprouts as like a fun nod to the Irish Colcannon, but I think roasted mushrooms would be fantastic in this.
Yes.
Or little, yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Or if you wanted to do a little bit of pancetta,
Yeah.
but it's really a one sheet deal. So once the potatoes come out of the oven, let them cool a little bit, and then you scrape out the inside. And then this is where you get to have a ton of fun. I'll teach you ours, but I mean, the cheese is your pleasure. The filling is your pleasure. One thing when you're scraping out the potatoes like this is make sure you leave enough so that you can fill them back in without the skin ripping.
Right.
Because you want to serve them as individual little potato boats.
Sure.
So you scrape out the filling. And again, we chose Brussels sprouts because of Colcannon and that classic Irish combination of cabbage and potatoes. What we did that was different than Colcannon is we roasted the Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are like mini cabbages. But again, I think it would be so delicious with a mixture of roasted shiitake mushrooms with a little bit of crispy leek. We just mix in all of those.
Explain what you mean by
Colcannon. Okay, so Colcannon is like what my mother would call nursery food. This is some sour cream. It is an Irish nursery food, meaning absolute comfort food.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
It is mashed potatoes and cabbage cooked together, and with some butter and some salt.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's nothing to laugh at. We just changed it a little bit. We added some sour cream. This is where they're a little bit more like mashed potatoes. You add an acidic element. We add some Dijon mustard, a little salt, a little pepper, and we're using Gouda, smoked Gouda. And my mistake, that's going to be a topping. This just gets mixed up.
Okay.
So this is like your mashed potato. And if you were using a stand mixer, it'd get all whipped and airy and beautiful. You'd add a little cream and you'd be done. But we're making a really fun side. You can serve these. I think they're great with a steak or a pork chop, but a lighter dinner with a really nice green salad. They are a versatile potato. That I wanted to tell you. I'm just going to stuff these back in here.
Okay.
I hadn't made these forever, and my niece came to visit, and she thinks because I work for a food company, I know how to do like anything. She'll say, make this, and all of a sudden I know how to make it. So thankfully, one of the two things she demanded I make was twice baked potatoes. I was like, Louisa, how do you know about twice baked potatoes? She's like, oh, they're all over social media. I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
And she loved them. They were a hit. But we're just going to put a little cheese on top. The other thing she had me make was we had to scoop out a watermelon, fill it with gelatin and blackberries and kiwis, and make like, when it's set, we had to slice it to make these stained glass perfect watermelon wedges. And let me tell you, Helen, I failed. You quickly learned that just because you work in food, you do not know how to make everything instantaneously. We must have gone through like 40 watermelons this summer.
Well, first of all, I love that she thinks you can do anything, so hang on to that.
So you bake these again until they're warmed through, like 30 minutes. And then they come out and they are these
Wow.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, these are so good. You see what I mean? They're sort of like trashy mashed potatoes or elevated potato bar. And you just sprinkle them with some more scallions. You could put a little Parmesan cheese on top or something like that, but that's it.
Wow,
you're done. And your niece will be happy.
Yes, your niece will be happy for sure. That looks delicious. We're going to put the recipe on our website at k2.com. And again, this is the September-October edition of Christopher Kimball's Milk Street Magazine. Rosie Gill, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Helen. Have a good day.
You too. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest.